Good morning. Uh, Transfer of Property Act deals with the transfer of property from one person to other living per inter vivos. Vivos means those who are live. But the will property and succession development of the property is between the deceased to the surviving legal heirs or the beneficiary. For private, without going to the act sections, I want to simplify certain things in respect of will. Will, two kinds are there. Number one is privileged will. Number two is unprivileged will. Unprivileged will requires that will should be attested by two witnesses, and the witnesses must prove before the court that the person who executed the will signed in his presence after having understood the contents of the will. Privileged wills is pertaining to the army personnel, particularly marine, those who are at life risk suddenly may execute by deviating several procedures of that it should be written by the person, or he may orally dictate and somebody may write. He need not even sign. The person who would speak about all these privileges are there, forget about that. Then question arises, will may be registered will or unregistered will. Both are valid in law. But at the same time, if the wills are executed, the properties are within the notified cities, metropolitan cities like Chennai, Bombay, Calcutta, that should be probated if they will appoint somebody to execute the will. If it is not there, the letter of administration. Despite all this, in villages, they need not even get a probate or a letter of administration to implement the will. That may be either acted upon. Acted upon means the persons who are concerned with the properties bona fidely follows the contents of the will, that is acted upon. Otherwise, suit for declaration under section 34. And keep it in mind that this act of Indian Succession Act deals with the will was a very old one that should be revisited. That was by periodical request and submission to the law department. Then what happens, even without going to letter of administration or probate, you can file suit straight away under section 34 of the suit, specifically for suit for declaration. To make you understand that apart, this judgment would help you, those who are studying law and who are preparing for district judges examinations and district municipal examinations, because this judgment deals with various aspects of civil procedures, Indian Succession Act and other areas of Indian Evidence Act, how to prove, how to disprove all those things. So you better go through this judgment if you are really academically interested to keep your knowledge much more intact. This is AIR 2021 4830 Supreme Court P. Prabhakara vs. Basavaraj. This is what citations. A lot of things, how issues were framed, all these things are there. But my humble persuasion would be that they see what was the issues framed. Does the plaintiff prove to have acquired title to the suit by virtue of will dated so and so executed by late Jesse Jayalakshmi? Does he prove the will dated 6896 executed by Jesse Jayalakshmi is fabricated and forged document? Does he prove that the defendant is in occupation of the scheduled property as licensee free of charges? Whether the plaintiff has cause of action for the suit, is the suit barred by limitation? And what are order or degree the parties are entitled to? Actually what happened, the Jessica the owner of the property seems to have divorced her first husband and however allowed him to stay. That is permissive occupant. But that was challenged. Then they went to the will was not registered, and that was challenged. The trial court decreed the suit. High Court has set aside it, and Supreme Court, after discussing various aspects, that is what I said, that they are what all are the sections they have referred. They say Section 3 of Indian Evidence Act, what is fact? They have discussed at paragraph 14. Then Section 17 defines an admission. Section 68 about how to documents to be proved, 68 of the Evidence Act. Section 144, certain things to be presumed. And Section 18 is dealing with estoppel. Then Section 17 of the Registration Act was also discussed, explaining that certain documents are compulsorily registerable and certain documents need not be registered. Then they referred Code of Civil Procedure Order 6, how to plead, pleading, either pleading by filing plaint or by written statement. That means you should be specifically plead certain things. You cannot evasively reply, evasively deny, evasively claim anything. That's what they. Then Order 8, Rule 2 shall make specific pleadings, while under Order 3 denial should be specific. That's what they say. So you have to follow all those things. Then they have referred Supreme Court judgment, they have referred century back judgments, all these things they have discussed about how to prove, how to disprove. That the Goglan versus Cumberland, that century back judgment was also discussed how the court should deal with appeal, and several things have been discussed. So kindly go through the judgment, and if you are academically interested, to equip with your brain with more substantial and materialized legal knowledge in dealing with the case, consolidately. See, that's what I said, when you undergo this undergraduate law course, you are only being taught compartmentally, not consolidately. You have to develop your knowledge. There you stand as an advocate, land advocate, famous advocate. You may not have a lot of cases, but when you start arguing before the court, all corner of the court may admire you and listen you and learn something from you. And that is more than sufficient for a good lawyer, for having satisfied to claim that you are a good lawyer. Best wishes.